Despite its immense popularity, Call of Duty often flies under the radar in the speedrunning community, overshadowed by the other top franchises like Super Mario and Zelda. But that hasn't stopped the dedicated Call of Duty speedrunners from spending countless hours innovating, optimizing, and dissecting these games over the years. So in this video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the incredible and game-breaking missions from throughout the franchise's history. So sit back and get ready to experience Call of Duty like you've never seen before. This is the top 10 broken Call of Duty speedruns. We're going to start this list off in a bit of a symbolic way, with the first mission on the very first Call of Duty, Camp Toccoa. It's the basic training of this game, so it's going to put us through a bit of a tutorial by making us go through some courses to show us how some of the controls of the game work. You'll see I'm doing some strafe jumps. If you don't know what strafe jumps are, it's basically me pressing the strafe keys, which would be W and A or W and D, while doing the matching horizontal mouse movement right after jumping. This will give us increased velocity. You can also maintain it in this game, almost like a CSGO B-hop. As you can see, when we're proned out, we can also do a strafe against the barriers, which will also increase our speed, which will help us get through this section faster. Now for what makes this mission broken. When we get to the top of this ladder, we can set a quick save and then load that save. Doing this will mess with the game engine and launch us with an insane amount of velocity through the air. So we just want to do it a couple times so we can get over this barrier. After we get over the barrier, we can pick up the explosives and plant them. And then we can run over to the gate while the timer's ticking, and then hold W when it explodes so we can get through and end out this mission. Now we're going to go 6 years into the future, to the next mission on Modern Warfare 2. Even if you never played this mission before, it might look familiar if you played Verdansk on the first Warzone. This mission's name is the Gulag. Just a quick side note, this is on the speedrun mod version of this game, made by Pandas and Survivor, which skips general RNG and cutscenes, and will let you do some interesting skips. Just like the previous mission, we're going to be strafe jumping, with sprinting being added. You can see we have the velocity on the right of the screen as well, where we can reach speeds to around 400 units, just from strafe jumping. After we're done getting past all of these enemies, we're going to go prone here to get through part of the fence that isn't actually a physical object, so we can just clip through and fall down. We're going to make a hard strafe jump so we can get up here, and I definitely hit it first try, and didn't make a cut to me hitting it after 5 attempts. After we make it up here, we're going to circle back up to the room where the fence is that we first clipped through. We wanted to go down here first so we can hit some triggers. Now that we drop down, we can follow along the side of this room, then just make a jump to the side of the broken stairs, and then jump towards these boxes. We're just going to put you on a rope so you can descend. Now we just need a strafe jump through the bottom of the gulag and get through some enemies. I'm going to throw a flash here to get out of the concussion-like state and continue forward, killing any of the enemies in our way. Once we get through breaching, we want to shoot and reload our gun to get out of the slow-mo effect. Now we can pull our grenade launcher out to kill the group of riot shielders and drop down into the sewers. We then can do another breach, and then the rest of this mission is just running through the hallways. I'm not really sure why there's a helicopter in the middle of the hallway, but we'll just ignore that. Now we're going to load into one of the most iconic missions on Call of Duty 4, all gillied up. Instead of playing in a stealthy way, we're going to just strafe jump past all of these enemies and get behind this wooden fence. What we're doing now is lining up a jump so we can make a glitch mantle to get on top of this building. Now that we're up here, we can get out of bounds while also avoiding radiation by taking a specific path. We can then get back inbounds, skipping past the church section of this map. After strafe jumping through a field, we're going to run through the tank yard and get to the shipping containers. After getting past some enemies, we're going to get onto this washing machine, then to the mattress, to finally end up on the shipping containers. Now we can make a couple jumps to get on this barrier and skip past this section. All we need to do now is get through this building, run past the dog, and get through another building. After we do all of that, we can run to the end of the level. Staying on Call of Duty 4, we're now on the mission Blackout. You're also meant to be stealthy on this mission, but again, we're just going to ignore that and run past all these enemies. This is also on the speedrun mod version of the game. For this one, we want to strafe jump on top of this building and then jump out of bounds and run up this hill. After we do that, we can run around this part of the hill and then just strafe jump till we can get line of sight of some of the enemies. The enemies we want to see are the machine gunners because we need to kill them to further the mission. Now we can line up a grenade launcher to kill some enemies in an attic to trigger the next section. We're going to keep the grenade launcher out because it actually lets us move a little bit faster than just having the base M4 out. Now we can get on this barrier and then get back into the map and run towards the house. Once we get inside, we can run up the stairs and then kill some enemies. We shoot at this wall so Captain Price will spawn. Now that we saved Nikolai, we can strafe jump our way to the helicopter and extract out. We're now halfway through the missions at number 5 on World at War with the mission Vendetta. We start off slow by crawling around and talking about how to time our shots with the explosions. After we do that, we can take out the enemies. We don't have to show that one. We then want to jump out and get the MP40. After that, we want to run to the building and then wait for Reznov to start running towards us. When he does, we can then run back out and kill some of the enemies when he starts saying 4 days.
Stay low. For days.
This will skip some dialogue and move the mission along a little further. Now we're going to wait for the sniper shot, and then we can jump inside the window. We then go upstairs to where we're meant to take out the sniper, but instead we'll do some platforming to then get on a barrier and then get out of bounds. Once we actually get out of bounds, we want to run over to hit a trigger that will spawn some enemies for us to kill. You'll also notice I'm not always sprint strafe jumping in this game. That's because there's stamina involved. Instead, we just do a sprint strafe jump and then do a couple other jumps before we start sprinting again. After we hit the trigger over here, we then can circle back and kill the enemies. We also didn't reload our Mosin because for some reason when you need to reload and you knife, it knifes a lot faster. After we kill a couple of them, it then should teleport us up to this building. Then we just need to head to the attic without dying, so we're gonna have to take out some enemies on the way. Once in the attic, we then jump out of the window, and doing this will end out the mission. We're now going to go back to COD 4 with Warpig, again on the speedrun mod version. For this, we're just going to follow along the road. We're meant to be escorting a tank throughout the map, but instead we're just going to skip past a couple sections. To do that, we need to come over to this wall and make a strafe jump to this awning so we can bounce up to the ledge. A bounce is a glitch in some of the Call of Duties that I'll go over more later in this video. Now that we're up here, we can jump to the ledge, and we need to jump onto barriers so we don't fall into the building. Now we can drop back in bounds and run to the helicopter so we can extract out of this mission. Now we're going to be switching over to Advanced Warfare with the mission Introduction. Also, since I don't own this game, I asked Murphy AW to use his world record on this mission. I'll put his information in the description. With missions on Advanced Warfare being as long as they are, I'll just show you the broken parts of it. This first skip here is just a jump dash that will save you about a minute. But once we get over here, we're going to do a double jump onto the structure and then get to the second story to then make another double jump to get on top of this platform. After that, we can jump and hover, then make a double jump so we can get high enough to get through this wall that you can just clip through, and then we'll be out of bounds. After that, we want to hover over to this section. We also want to save about half of our fuel so we can make another hover. You can see the fuel right next to the pistol. Now you'll see he's going to be doing some B-hops, which are pretty prominent in this game. Then we're going to do another hover. Hey, also, if you're enjoying the video so far, drop a like, it really helps out. We can jump back inbounds, which skips a big portion of this mission. Now going back to the past, to Burnville on Call of Duty 1. The start of this is pretty basic, just strafe jumping while avoiding the mortars. We also have to kill some of the guys on the gunners. Once we get into this building, we want to get on the desk and make a jump over to the bookshelf. So we can then get over the wall and out of bounds and under the map. Once we're under, we can make a strafe jump to clip ourselves back into the ground, which will give us an ice skating type of an effect, giving and maintaining high velocity. Then we can go prone to get out of the ice skating effect and plant the explosives. Now you want to take a certain path to not mess with the AI, which is why you'll see me no longer ice skating, even though it looks like it would probably be more efficient to do. Now we can make it to the next tank to plant more explosives. After we do that, we continue forward on the paths I'm taking so we can make it to the graveyard. Once we're here, we can jump up and try to get back in bounds, which can be kind of tricky. But once we're out, we can now get ahead of Foley, and if we did the pathing correctly, he should clip to the end of the map and start his dialogue to end out this mission. We're gonna go back on Advanced Warfare. We need to pay some respects on the mission Atlas. Again, using Murphy AW's individual level times. Now that we're inside the mission, we want a platform on some trees so we can get on top of this house and make it out of bounds. We then can throw our lethal out to kill an enemy to trigger the next part of the mission. It'll also give us a save, so we can do the next trick with a bit of a save point. That trick is hitting a hard to do jump dash on a small barrier. The rest of this section is just running on the outside of this barrier. Once we get to the end, we're gonna make a jump to get onto solid ground, or we can do some B-hops, which will show you just how crazy they can get. The next skip on this mission is getting a precise jump dash, which lets you get to the end of the mission a lot faster. We now get into the most broken mission on Call of Duty, and if you know me, you know I had to choose this one. It's Charlie Don't Surf on Call of Duty 4. As soon as we drop into this mission, we start off by getting on the car and making a glitch mantle to get on top of this building, and then we're gonna make a bounce on this car to make it over this building and get behind the barbed wire. If you didn't get behind the barbed wire, you'd have to wait for the NPCs to open a door where you'd need to clear a room. Also, a bounce is basically hitting a sloped surface at a certain angle and speed, and an unintended glitch will happen, where it will send you flying back up into the air. In this mission, you can also get on the roof of some of these buildings to pick up an RPG to make a jump that's coming up a little easier, but we're not going to do that. And once we get to this tree, we're going to do another unintended glitch, known as an elevator. I'm getting myself lined up in a specific spot so that when my character stands up, it's going to basically put me inside the barrier, and that will bring me to the top of the barrier. Now that we're up here, we can go on top of this invisible barrier and make another bounce on this car to make it into this window, where we can then shoot it out and make our way to the end of this level. While I'm running to the end, let me know what your favorite mission was in the comments below, and if I should make more videos like this. Sorry if the mic audio is a bit scuffed. I just moved into a new place, so it's a bit echoey, on top of being a little bit sick, which will be fixed, and I do plan on making a lot more videos when I'm fully moved in. But if you want to see more about Charlie Don't Surf and who found a good chunk of it, watch this video next. Later.